mean, when Dr. Sandra reached out to me after my double stroke in September 11th, 2020, I had a double stroke, and several days later, Dr. Sandra reached out to me and said that she had this technology and that it had proven successful for people. It had proven powerfully good for people that had had strokes, and that if we could get to Vegas, that it would be available for us. And at that point, 12 days in the hospital, in a wheelchair, and kind of working with a walker, we made our way to Las Vegas, got into her house. Dr. Sandra's cute. She says it took me about 45 minutes to get back to the EE system room. But if you know Dr. Sandra, you know about 15 minutes of that was talking. Um, we got back to the room, and I was using the walker through her house, and it was very challenging. Got back in the room. I said, "What do we do?" And she said, "You just lay here on the bed, focus your intention on what you truly want, own it, let it go, meditate, sleep, do whatever." And I set my intention, and Stephanie was there with me, and we just went out. We went out into the ether, and 2 hours later.
Yeah, well, we're gonna at some point call you, Dr. Dream, and say, hey, bring some of that sound healing this way, and we'll get the salt bowls and the metal bowls and whatever bowls you use, and I'll help you ring them if you want. Just you have to show me how. So I have a tendency to hit things a little too hard sometimes. Okay. But
Oh, but
yeah.
did did you tell Dr. Dream about your mother?
Oh my God, yeah. My mom's body was able to recover from all kinds of things, epilepsy, emphysema, and we'll fix it all. We'll fix her enough to whenever the Galactus say, hey, you guys now get the med beds. But we're not waiting for that, you know. So whenever they get here, they get here. But in the meantime, I know that we could buy her enough time to where there's a lot of people that believe what's coming right now, in the very near future, the technology that they're going to unleash. That's why they don't want him back 45, because he wants to give the power back to the people. He wants to give you life extension technology. He wants to give you. Come on down and meet Dr. Sandra in the flesh at 166 Center Street. The party starts around 12 noon. We're going to kick it off with Ian Farrar. You get to stay in the system for about 6 hours. Okay. That is a hell of a deal when you really calculate the price of the ticket. You're paying like, $11.99 an hour to be there. It's ridiculous. Okay. So, but
every second with the technology is healing. And
yeah,
whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not.
Yes.
We're launching a big telomere test, 6 months.
Oh, I want to be part of that.
Study. A 6-month study that's launching. You might not feel your telomeres. She found that she had gotten 3 years younger after two 3-hour sessions in a system.
Before we get started, folks, make sure you hit the pause button. Okay, go down below. There's a Rumble link. Go over to Rumble and follow us over there. QFS1776.com is, without question, the holy grail of what's to come. Okay, T-shirts. You got to get yourself decorated. This way people will ask you, what is XRP? What is the quantum financial system? What is this? What is that? And you send them where? To QFS1776.com, where they need to immerse themselves, because we're going to burn down this system down to the ground. And out of the ashes will rise the phoenix. There'll be nothing to go back to. Believe me when I tell you that. Unified TV will take over Netflix. We're bringing in the next genre of movie producers and storytellers and actors and actresses. And we're telling the story of how the world is going to be on earth as it is in heaven. Jasara Nasara is coming. Don't make no mistake about it. Gold and silver right down below. Promo code Mel Carmine. Make sure you use the promo code. Almost $8 billion in sales. We're direct to like a bunch of mints. We are the ones that can get you the gold and silver directly to your door, okay, at the cheapest price. Don't even waste your time looking for a cheaper price. It doesn't exist. Also, our Telegram groups down below. If you want to learn what's coming and you're sort of a little scared, I understand. Believe me, I was there too at one point. Our Patriots are literally waiting for you in the room. And if you need more than $10,000 worth of XRP or $1 million worth of XRP, you come see me. Send me an email at qfs1776@gmail, and we'll get you as much as you want. Well, good evening, folks. We got the one and only Dr. Sandra. We got a special guest, Dr. Dream. We're going to tell you about his sound healing just in a little bit here. But before we get going, January 21st, okay? Don't forget January 21st, Dr. Sandra is going to be in the flesh at 166 Center Street in Cape Canaveral. StayingAlive.com, alive with 2 eyes, okay? Before we forget, you can now earn XRP, the final Bitcoin 5.0 on steroids from anywhere in the world. The only thing you have to do is go to stayingalive.com, become a referring agent, and download whichever video floats your boat and advertise us local here in Florida, Brevard County, the surrounding counties, and you can earn $25 worth of XRP, which is going to be worth a lot of money in the future, and we'll send it to you anywhere in the world. Okay, so Dr. Sandra's parents were working on the bomb. It's a good thing that Dr. Sandra didn't finish that project, because if she did, we'd probably be all dead right now instead of healing in front of the machine, right? I tell you, it's a good thing that you didn't go that way, Doc. Congratulations on the fact that you got almost 400 stores opened up worldwide. That is a monumental feat from a technological standpoint and from a corporation standpoint. Any corporation that grows by 400 locations in less than a couple of years is unbelievable. When did you meet Jason Shirka? How did you meet Jason Shirka? When you guys got together in that one room that one time when they sent me the video and it only had like 3,000 hits, thanks to Gilla Jed, I think you guys literally captured lightning in a bottle. It was like a spontaneous combustion, if you will. 800,000 hits, 70,000 people in one weekend saying, hey, I want to open up a store. That was amazing. Tell us a little bit about that. And one question that I don't think I've ever asked you. Are you part of TLS?
Yeah. That's what happened. It was TLS insisted that I had never met Jason. When Scott McKay was here, literally sitting in the same chair I'm in right now, he was with me, using the system, recovering and doing his radio show from my desk, from my office. And he was interviewing Jason and talking about Ray and disclosure and all that, and TLS, the light system. That's for those of you that don't know what TLS is. Right. It's like I consider it. Well, it's like a spiritual counterpoint to the special ops, covert ops for divine intervention. Right. But so I'm talking. Yeah. So I'm listening, and he's interviewing and talking about Ray, and he's talking, and I just came in on Scott while he was doing his interview and kind of sat off to the side. And I keep getting this message. I think I'm supposed to tell Jason I'm part of TLS, which is weird because TLS is top secret. It's right. Been, it's like, and I had been part of it since 2011 or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it's kind of an interesting thing. And but what happened was his parents, his dad, Manny Shirka, heard about me and said, what's he talking about? Who's this Dr. Sandra? What's she got? And so he talked to me and heard experienced the technology, and his aunt, Jason's aunt, had it was a 15-centimeter uterine fibroid. That was and she's skinny as a rail, so that was a serious issue. And went to the 24-unit system in Verona, New Jersey, with Jeffrey in Verona, and it basically disappeared, and then had the same experience with the dog, and then Jason finally does talk to me. And we're talking about the technology. It was really rather comical. So we're talking about the technology. And at the very end of it, I go, oh, by the way, I think I'm supposed to, very end of the conversation. But, we're talking about the technology and the research. And and the history. And I go, by the way, I think I'm supposed to tell you I'm part of TLS. Well, he basically hung up on me.
Wow.
Just hung up on me. That was it. I
Wow.
got to go. Slam the phone.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And then he checked in with them, and because he'd heard that from who knows how many people and yada yada, and it had never ever checked out before.
Mhm.
And he checked in, and yes, that I was part of, and they validated it. And but what happened then for that interview was I was doing a fundraiser for Scott McKay here in Las Vegas. And the next day we had a big event with General Flynn, and a fundraiser for Joey Gilbert, who was running for governor here, and that kind of thing. And Michael Jaco, and we had him coming too. So anyway, so I thought Jason was just coming to do, to support the fundraiser. I thought he was coming for that. Well, it turns out, unbeknownst to me, TLS has bugged the heck out of him, essentially, because he didn't want to come, he wasn't going to come, yada, yada. They sent him on a mission to do this interview with me. And here's Jason, setting up cameras and pulling chairs in front of my double cube and just setting up the cameras that we got to do this. And then I don't know how he edited it so fast or whatever. And it was put out, and we literally had 70,000 emails in the first 24 hours of the release of that. And that was May 27th of 22.
Okay.
So yeah, May 27th of 2022. So
Cool.
that's how that all happened.
All right. Let's switch the conversation now. How did you meet Dr. Dream? Dr. Dream, please tell us a little bit about your technology, because we have a channel called Miracles in Cape Canaveral on Telegram. Everybody should join. There's about 600 people on there right now. And I can tell you that the stories, because we all have the same secret sauce recipe. You see that technology behind me? It doesn't matter whether you're, in California or in Miami or, in Cape Canaveral. It doesn't matter. It's all the same secret sauce recipe. If you got a 24-unit system, they all work the same. It doesn't matter the proximity, right? I wanted to always ask you this question. It doesn't matter how far they are apart from each other, because these computers actually talk to each other. They're literally within a millicentimeter of each other. They're supposed to be calibrated in such a way where the energy is flowing through the screens. They're actually synchronized, right? So is there like a distance that they're supposed to be? Where's the disconnect, if you will? If you put them, is there like you could put them too far apart and it won't work as well? Or could it be like 500 feet apart and they work just as well?
Yeah, it could be 500 feet apart. The difference, and the distance is not the difference. It's the precision of the alignment. So it's just a matter of getting that alignment, and it's literally less than 1/100th of an inch tolerance, but we want it precise. It's the precision of that alignment and the intersection of the fields and the phase conjugate wave pairs that creates that full torsion field scalar vortex, and the collision of the photons, which then creates photonic fusion and that kind of thing. So
sure.
yeah.
And I've been learning a lot about sound healing lately. There is a video that landed inside my Telegram group. I think the pizza guy put it there by mistake. And supposedly something to do with all of the bells disappearing around the world, because supposedly when you ring a bell, and I think Dr. Dream, you might be able to speak to this. Supposedly when you ring a bunch of bells in a town, that frequency vibrates and ripples out and supposedly can allow the body to heal the body. Can you speak to that a little bit, please?
Absolutely. In my own experience, in my healing process, sound healing became really a mainstay of taking me where I wanted to go. And so we've now done, tomorrow will be our 714th facilitated sound healing event since January of 2010. So a lot of experience. We use Himalayan healing bowls and tuning forks and gongs and just all sorts of things. So what you were saying about the bells in these towns and things like that makes a lot of sense, because I mean, we're all energy. We know that. And
Mhm.
so sound and vibration, those energies will allow us to shift if we're open to it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the thing about the church bells, there's a whole thing with the church bells and how that was originally, originally for healing. Yeah, it's an amazing sound. So yes, they started taking those. You don't hear church bells very often anymore, do you?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, and the bells supposedly got confiscated. Here's the story, and it lives at Miracles in Cape Canaveral in Telegram, on our Telegram. Supposedly, the bells got confiscated right after World War II, and if you do find any bells, they all have a crack in it for some reason. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, but that's the power. We are energy beings and all life is energy, and that's what we're working with. And of course, sound healing's always been a part of our, of our technologies from the very beginning. I was just showing Gina from Las Vegas Holistic Center. She was here last night, and I was showing her the picture of our original chamber of the technology, you know,
Hmm.
back from 1996, actually, the original one. She was like, wow, tripping out. But the sound was always incorporated. Healing sound has always been a part of it. And Dr. Dream's you've been having a great time going to the different centers with the technology, I think. And I think you've met a lot of people, and you visited how many centers now? Because this is a new part of Tour of Love, incorporating the scalar component too.
Yeah, we have found it to be, I mean, we loved our experiences prior to our introduction to EESystem, and now we love it even more because the Tour of Love, which is what we do, and we travel all around the country. Now, since my experience with the EESystem, we have focused that tour on traveling to the different centers. And so we get to have the bowls and the crystal tuning fork and the crystal pyramid and the gongs inside the 24 unit, 48 unit system. And I mean, just the energy is absolutely incredible. I've been away from, we haven't had we travel with a cube. But we're like, I don't know if you can, I'm in our RV right now, which is a small RV, and the cube doesn't fit in here. So I haven't been in an EE system for about 2 weeks. And tomorrow we'll be in Santa Barbara, 24 unit system, and I cannot wait to be back in the energies, and doing what we do. It is a potential. What's the word I'm looking for? It expands the energy of what we put out there, and we call it the Tour of Love because it's myself and my wife Stephanie, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to just love every person and every aspect of this experience. And that's a pretty lofty statement, but that's what we get to do. And we get to go out there and do this. And then to be in the EE system doing this, which, I mean, when Dr. Sandra reached out to me after my double stroke in September 11th, 2020, I had a double stroke, and several days later, Dr. Sandra reached out to me and said that she had this technology and that it had proven successful for people. It had proven powerfully good for people that had had strokes, and that if we could get to Vegas, that it would be available for us. And at that point, 12 days in the hospital, in a wheelchair, and kind of working with a walker, we made our way to Las Vegas, got into her house. Dr. Sandra's cute. She says it took me about 45 minutes to get back to the EE system room. But if you know Dr. Sandra, you know about 15 minutes of that was talking. Um, we got back to the room, and I was using the walker through her house, and it was very challenging. Got back in the room. I said, "What do we do?" And she said, "You just lay here on the bed, focus your intention on what you truly want, own it, let it go, meditate, sleep, do whatever. And I set my intention, and Stephanie was there with me, and we just went out. We went out into the ether. And 2 hours later, I got up because I had to go to the bathroom. And Stephanie said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I've got to pee." And she said, "Do you need some help?" And I said, "No." I got up from the bed. I walked past my walker. I walked 50 feet to the bathroom. I'm going to give you a little extra information here. I peed standing up, which I hadn't done in 3 weeks. And I walked back to the bedroom, and Stephanie looked at me and she said, "What the?" And I said, "I have no idea what's going on here. I can't explain it, but the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding just walked to the bathroom." And so it was about 6 sessions later. Well, the next day we sent the wheelchair back to Idaho where we had rented it. And 6 sessions later, we gave the walker away to a Uber driver whose daughter had MS and needed a new walker because I didn't need it anymore. And it was, I mean, made me a believer right there.
Right.
And from that moment on, we just it's been the most powerful energy in our lives. And it's very special for us, even when we go out and do an experience now that's not at an EESystem Center. We put the cube in the middle of the group of people at a Unity Center or a yoga center or wherever we're doing it, so they have that experience. And people rave about it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. People need to understand too, you literally could not even stand up.
No, it was an
When you
incredibly scary and challenging time for me, and I didn't know if I would ever walk normal again, if I would ever be able to truly walk. And 2 hours. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to get that experience. We've met a lot of people along the way, but a couple of things. I mean, for me, I had been a stroke person for 3 weeks. I didn't own that this was my life. I didn't own that this was the hand that had been dealt to me. I owned that this was an experience that I should learn from because it's a gift. And from the very first moment I would talk about my strokes, I would call them my strokes. And people would say, "Oh, you can't do that. You're owning it too much." And I said, "Hey, listen, this is my life. I manifested this for a reason. If I embrace it, I'm going to integrate it. If I push it away, we're going to make a mountain out of a molehill." And it's been a fascinating process. But I ended up doing almost 70 hours in the system over 5 weeks. And 5 weeks later, I drove our big truck towing a 40-foot RV to Kansas to see my daughter because I wasn't sure I was going to see her again. And it is an incredible success story, and one that we love to share because here I am alive and well, and I bike and we walk and we exercise, we hike, all sorts of things that for a time there, I didn't think I would be able to do any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I found it even unbelievable how short a period of time it was before you were back on the bike.
Yeah, I mean, it still took a couple years to get the equilibrium and things right, but within 3 weeks, probably 2 weeks, I was biking around the RV park in Las Vegas and just thrilled that my experience had moved that quickly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
now,
We,
does your technology, when it's being implemented inside of Dr. Sandra's technology, how does that complement either yours, hers, or both? And maybe either one of you can answer that question, or both.
I'll start off and then I'll pass the baton to Dr. Sandra. What we do is we create an opportunity without the EE system.
Right.
What we always have done is we create an opportunity for people to do the deep inner work and healing.
Okay.
When you do that inside of the EE system, it just allows it to be so much more expansive, so much deeper in the healing process. And we've watched it. I mean, I read energies, and I see everything that's going on in that room. And you can see the people that are really opening up and allowing the energies in and doing the work. I mean, not everyone has the same experience, but there are sort of tricks or perspectives or ways to allow the healing to go deeper. And we've seen that. One of the things for me was I had a person go to a center shortly after I had my experience, and she called me afterwards and she said, didn't feel anything, didn't do anything for me. And I literally had to say goodbye to her. I couldn't respond because I was like, wait, that's impossible based on my experience. How could you not? And then I started thinking about how people are. And if you got something that you've had for 3 decades, 4 decades, your whole life, something like that, are you going to be able to let go and release it in 2 hours? I think that, I mean, it's possible. Everything's possible, but it takes more effort and more work. Again, I was a fresh in this sort of disability that I wasn't going to own. I knew that my life wasn't to be a stroke victim. It was to be a stroke survivor. And that's what it did for me.
Well, does his technology work better being that it's surrounded by our technology? Because now I'm part of your technology is our technology. So does it work better or does it work different? What is the enhancement, if any? I'm not a scientist. I'm a pizza guy. I'm an ex-pizza guy by trade. So what do I know?
Yeah, it works better. It works, it's mo better because there's greater resonance, the law of resonance, but the coherence allows it to go deeper, cellularly. And the cells vibrate and resonate with the power of truth and the power of love. And it's that waves of love. It's like you're literally breathing light, literally breathing light. It's photons, quantums of light, and breathing love and that resonance through every cell and particle and tissue of your being, and activating that light at the core of your DNA. And it's ideal, optimal meditational states in the system because of the way it synchronizes right in the brain hemispheres and obviously enhances brain function tremendously. That's how you have that nerve regeneration, neuroregenerative capabilities after a stroke and things, where it's detoxing, it's going to try to discharge or push out whatever created the dysfunction or dis-ease in the first place. The body has a charge, it wants to discharge what doesn't belong. And then it's, repair, rejuvenation, regeneration. And the deeper you go, the more you relax, the more the body can use all the energies. So you've got an ultimate all-time experience with no drugs, no drugs needed, doing the Tibetan bowls and all the sound within the system.
Right.
I think it's an ultimate transformational experience.
So the sound vibration will not disrupt the light vibration and vice versa.
Nah, it compounds, it works all together. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I would think maybe because the sound works differently, it might just move the light out of the way or something or disrupt it,
Yeah.
but that's the way I think, because I'm not a scientist. My brain's not wired that way. But are you excited about coming down to Cape Canaveral? You're going to be sharing a stage with Sean Callahan, which you're going to love. Sean is literally an encyclopedia when it comes to frequency energy and how it heals. He's been at this for quite some time. And he's involved with another one of the technologies we have there, which is the plasma med bed, which is amazing. Plasma, noble gas, etc. Then we have Ian Farrar, he's going to actually start off the whole thing with Purium, the diet, which is important to have a organic, balanced diet. And it's very, very important to do other things, etc., in order for this technology. Obviously, will it work on somebody who's got pain, who likes to eat a lot of chicken wings? The answer is yes, but it won't work as fast as if you eat the green stuff, right?
Yeah, it won't work as well.
Exactly.
Holistic health means looking at all the aspects, but you can't expect to be hyper healthy if you're still poisoning yourself.
Bingo.
and sugar and fried foods, all that are very inflammatory, which is what creates the pain and perpetuates the pain and the
Right.
disease in the first place. And the technology is going to try to reduce that inflammatory response, but it also wants, you want to give the body and give yourself the energy to change. And to
Sure.
change your mind means changing your diet. Let's eat in a way that creates, your ideal body, your ideal health, rather than, empowerment. It means
Absolutely.
making healthier, more intelligent, more informed choices.
Bingo. And then we have Lillian Botches, who wrote a book about you and your fabulous technology. There's the book right there. What is the name of the book again?
Right here. It's Awakening the Holographic Human. And
There you
chapter
go.
8 in it is all about our technology. Dr. Lily Botches has had our technology for I think since 2001 or something.
Correct.
I don't know. She wrote some of the initial white papers. If people go to the research page on EESystem.com, there's a research page. You can find her original white paper on that research page. Dr. Lily Botches or Elizabeth Botches, PhD, is what's on here.
Yep.
And yeah, so she's going to be there. That's awesome.
She's going to be there on the 21st. And guess who was at our center today?
Oh, who was there
Lillian
today?
Botches. She was there today. Yeah. She's
cool.
a regular client.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she's fabulous, wonderful. And so I'm excited to see her, get to see her there. So that's really cool.
Right. Exactly. So this is fun. We wanted to make the announcement. We still have tickets available, but according to the expert, meaning Dr. Sandra, usually tickets, when it gets within like 6, 7 days, 8 days of the event, they start going really, really fast. So you can grab your ticket now and assure that you got a ticket to come, because if you wait for that 7-day window, 8-day window, that might not be the case. So grab your tickets. The links are down below.
I mean, yeah, you'll fill up. It'll be all of our events are generally packed, and then a waiting list. People queuing up, waiting to be able to talk to me. Let me read this to you.
Sure, please.
She just sent me a message right before the show. Ashley did, whose son Thomas is one of the miracle stories. He was one of those, like bubble babies kind of thing. And now he's like a superstar. So her son's doing well. But there's a message from Laura. Laura's writing a book about her son who's autistic and is a speller. And so she wrote, I wanted to tell you that Trevor spelled about his session on Wednesday in a 24 unit there in Gardnerville. And I asked him what he experienced in the EE system, and he said, I saw angels. I asked who, and he spelled Auntie Kim, my sister who just passed. I asked if she talked to him, and he spelled yes. She said, I love you, and I'm so proud of all you're doing. How cool is that?
Wow.
A divine messenger. Is that sweet?
Absolutely.
We see a lot with the autism. And just so you know, I am flying back from Orlando in time to be with Dr. Dream. I get to see you at the Las Vegas Holistic Center here in Las Vegas. You're doing events at Las Vegas Holistic Center the 23rd and 24th. Is that correct, Dr. Dream?
Yeah, the 23rd, we're doing the public events. And then the 24th, it's just going to be you, me, and Stephanie, and broadcasting. It's our first Zoom experience that we will put out there. We're very excited about it. It's pushing the envelope a little bit for us, just because normally what we do is very hands-on. We go up to each person 4 or 5 times in the experience. And so just doing it for a camera, but it's going to be really sweet because we're in a 24 unit system. And there's an energy transference that happens whether you're right there or whether you're online with it. And you can find out more by going to itsallgood.com and going to our event page and checking it out. I got to tell you, if we weren't doing all this on the other side of the country, we would certainly be coming there to Cape Canaveral, as we will be looking to come there in November, as we've spoken to you about, because just sounds like you have an amazing setup there, and your energy and your motivation and everything from the conversations I've had with you. Um, you're the kind of people we want to hang out with. So we'll see you in person in November, but we hope all the people we know and love in Florida will make their way to your event, because between what you've got there and then having Dr. Sandra and all of those wonderful other people presenting, it's going to be quite the experience. And so I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, well, we're gonna at some point call you, Dr. Dream, and say, hey, bring some of that sound healing this way, and we'll get the salt bowls and the metal bowls and whatever bowls you use, and we'll get I'll help you ring them if you want. Just you have to show me how. So I have a tendency to hit things a little too hard sometimes. Okay. But
Oh, but
yeah.
did did you tell Dr. Dream about your mother?
Oh my
Did you have-
God, yeah. My mom's body was able to recover from all kinds of things, epilepsy, emphysema. She had something on her neck that we're not allowed to mention because YouTube owns that letter, that word that starts with a C, ends with an R. You know what I mean? And that was gone in 2 months. What happened? The story for anybody who's new, who's listening, was that I became a podcaster because I got bored thanks to COVID. And because of COVID, I said, you know what? If Nino Rodriguez could do this, so can the pizza guy. So I said, okay, let me do this. And so then Marie from Lehigh, Utah, Scavelli calls me. She said, listen, you're a great podcaster. I like your energy. I like your show. If you can help me promote my place on your podcast, you can bring your mom here. Your mom can stay here as long as she wants. As long as she wants, ended up being only 2 months, but 2 months was good enough to allow the body to heal the body of things that doctors can't address, can't touch, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Anybody who goes to school for 29 years and still hasn't figured it out, and you're still giving us a pill that's in a brown bottle that's a Band-Aid that doesn't work, shame on you. Okay. See, but the world is weird. They got to keep you sick because they're all invested in those things that those pharmaceutical things that are made from petroleum so that their stock goes up so that they can keep driving the Mercedes Benz. That's not the way I want to make my money. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I want to make my money the honest way. So we started the center here in Cape Canaveral because of what happened with my mom. That was the motivation. I said, hey, there's got to be a lot of moms out there that need what my mom just went through, And so, talk about emphysema. You're talking about she had a machine that produced what do you call it? Oxygen on demand that's been laying in the corner collecting dust now for 11 and a half months. That's crazy. Okay. Epilepsy attacks that used to last 5-6 hours. They were scary to look at. They're gone. Okay. She doesn't get any more epilepsy. She doesn't take any medication for that stuff anymore. The only thing she still has is a little bit of high blood pressure. That's the only thing. So at some point when the timing is right and the Lord wants her to be here in Florida, she'll be here and she'll continue the rest of that journey unimpeded. And we'll fix it all. We'll fix her enough to whenever the Galactus say, hey, you guys now get the med beds. But we're not waiting for that, So whenever they get here, they get here. But in the meantime, I know that we could buy her enough time to where there's a lot of people that believe what's coming right now in the very near future, the technology that they're going to unleash. That's why they don't want him back 45, because he wants to give the power back to the people. He wants to give you life extension technology. He wants to give you not flying cars. He wants to give you flying condominiums, And there goes Airbnb, there goes hotels.com, there goes the car industry, there goes the airplane industry, and there's 900 million people around the world lose their jobs just like that. That's why they don't want him back.
Well, and when 45, when he was in the White House, when he was president, and he was talking about the suppressed technology and the healing of the veterans, he was talking about our technology.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we really want it for the veterans. And I wanted to check in with you, too. Did you let Unified Healing?
Yeah, they're actually promoting the living daylights out of us. I'm in touch with Ben. I'm in touch with Jason.
Okay.
I'm in touch with Ali. I'm in touch. I know everybody there now. You know?
Okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Unified Healing.
Thank
That's
you, you guys.
UNIFYD,
Yes.
unifiedhealing.com. Everybody should visit that because you're going
The
to
links will be
find
down below.
lots of information there, and also where we're going to be, seeing you. And that's something you can, everybody can share those links.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Well, all the links will be down below. Unified, Jason, what an incredible man. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't say enough about Jason. Jason's, a godsend. I mean, you realize, you did well. I'm sure you weren't a poor child story, but when he
Oh,
came
no.
along and you guys got into that same room and that, that combustion that happened, that the lightning in the bottle, capturing of the lightning in the bottle happened, it was magical.
Yeah, we already had the technology all over the world,
Yes.
thousands and thousands of units all over the world, but mostly private homes.
Right.
So the 400 centers now, these are healing centers, making it available, easily available and affordable for everybody.
Yes.
And that's the big shift. That still doesn't count all the ones that are in private homes around the
Yeah.
bed and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Spontaneous combustion. When Gilla Jed sent me that video, she said, Mel, no, you don't understand. You got to stop everything and you got to watch that. I said, okay, you got me. When somebody talks to me with a tone of voice like that, they got my attention. And that's, so, hey, by the grace of God, we're not going to be stopped this time. They were able to stop Nikolai Tesla. They were able to stop, Raymond World Rife, but they're not going to stop Dr. Sandra because the pizza man's on board. So forget about it. It's over.
Yeah. I listened to Pascal today, and he said he can now say that it's the storm, the Operation Storm, it's 95% over, and everything is in that transition. He said we don't have to worry. Actually, he said you don't have to worry about, about them, all the damage that's being done. He said it's all being stopped. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. It was an interview he did with, what it was called, they cut off the head of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an interview that he did with my dear friend, Dr. Robert Young. So
Yes.
people may want to find that. It just came out.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I'm going to hold you over for a little bit. We're going to hit the pause button. You digital soldiers, nothing happens without you. You are obligated by duty put to you by the patriots in this planet to do your job and get this thing out there to everybody. Without you, nothing happens. We are DOA, dead on arrival, but I know you're going to do your job, and that's why we're having great success. So my hat is off to you. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing can stop what is coming. The Great Awakening
Bingo.
will
Bingo.
not be stopped. And tag, we're it. And the only thing beyond our love, because that is our superpower.
Yeah.
And the only thing beyond love is more fully shared love. So share with everybody, please. And let
Absolutely.
everybody know about Dr. Dream too, and the tour of love. I mean,
come on down and meet Dr.
out.
Sandra in the flesh at 166 Center Street. The party starts around 12 noon. We're going to kick it off with Ian Farrar. You get to stay in the system for about 6 hours. Okay. That is a hell of a deal when you really calculate the price of the ticket. You're paying like, $11.99 an hour to be there. It's ridiculous. Okay. So, but
Every
it's
second with the technology is healing.
Bingo.
Yeah, whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not.
Yes.
We're launching a big telomere test, 6 months.
Oh, I want to be part of that. By the way.
Yes.
Yes.
6-month study that's launching. You might not feel your telomeres. She found that she had gotten 3 years younger after two 3-hour sessions in a system. She tested 6 years younger actually than her biological age.
By the way, I got to tell you something. I am the poster boy for the most perfect chakra you'll ever see. I got to send you. I did that BioWell testing. Somebody came to my place with that machine.
Yeah,
and
Dr.
my chakra is 97% aligned. And I got the proof.
How cool is that?
And you know why? Because I said to my wife, I says, you got to learn how to work in the Zen mode. I says, even when I'm pissed off, I says, I do it in a Zen mode.
Dr. Dream knows all about that one too.
Okay.
Right? Just that balance. That's awesome. 97%.
97%. And I got she actually emailed it to me. So I got the proof. 97. It looks like straight down the line.
Yeah, it's one of the things we show from real-time aura imaging. But yeah, Dr. Krokow's BioWell, this is
that's what that is.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Exactly. That's why when you said that and I saw those pictures, it reminded me of the test. I had to talk about that. I know we went to extra innings, guys. Get the video out far and wide. Do it now. Thank you. We'll see you on January 21st. Dr. Sandra will be there in the flesh. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Share the love. Aloha.
Hello, folks. My name is Mel Carmine, and we are right in the middle of a tectonic shift, the biggest wealth transfer that is going to hit this entire planet like a tsunami on steroids. This will never happen again, at least not in our lifetime. Many of you still have the opportunity to get in right now. Joining our Telegram group is perhaps the smartest thing you'll ever do, and it won't cost you a single dime. We have tens of thousands of patriots waiting for you, and they'll take you by the hand to teach you the ropes so that you don't get slaughtered. Not the global reset. This is not the global reset, but rather the quantum financial system reset, the one that's attached to Nasara Jasara. It's coming at us at 800 miles an hour. The question is, are you ready? Are you in position to receive wealth beyond your wildest dreams? There are 6 to 8 tokens that are going to completely and entirely dominate this landscape. And no, it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum. Join our Telegram group today, and don't forget to visit the Quantum Financial Systems Manual at QFS1776.com